Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock, right here. And on this episode, it's going to be another quick one. Sorry about that. Just talk about some of the highlights in the week of pro wrestling for this week. We got a big weekend in the world of pro wrestling coming up. Starts Saturday. WWE Clash at the Castle, live from Cardiff, Wales, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States on Peacock and WWE Network internationally. And Saturday, we have Sunday, I don't remember what time it is, but we have WWE NXT When Worlds Collide, or it's just Worlds Collide, isn't it? I was thinking of the Power Man 5000 song there. And Sunday night, to finish off this big wrestling weekend, AEW All Out from Hoffman Estates, Illinois, at the Now Arena. And let's talk a little bit about the week that was in professional wrestling. We got on Monday Night Raw the finals of the tournament to crown the new women's tag team champions. And they're none other than Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez. And I have to admit here, what I thought was going to happen did not happen. I was kind of expecting, since there's been rumors once again lately about Sasha Banks and Naomi returning, I thought maybe after Aaliyah and Raquel won the women's tag team titles, they were gonna come from the crowd or something and attack them, or maybe even not let there be a finish, and before the match ended, come out, attack both teams, and then kind of steal the titles, and then kind of hold them for ransom or something and say they're not going to give the titles back until they get their jobs back with WWE and a match to get the women's tag team titles back, since they were never actually defeated for those titles. But who knows if they are coming back, if they're not coming back, or when they're coming back. And also on Monday Night Raw, Rey Mysterio choosing Edge as his tag team partner to face the Judgment Day this Saturday at Clash at the Castle. Dominic looking a little upset about that. And this got me to thinking this could be the split, the heel turn coming up. Dominic turning on his father and Edge. What do you think is going to happen? Either on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast, or email 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com your opinion. Do you think Dominic will turn against Rey this Saturday? Let me know what you think. And Tuesday night NXT, we've seen Ricochet, Rhea Ripley from the main roster show up on NXT 2.0. And the last couple weeks, actually, Apollo Crews has been there. And I have to admit, since Triple H has been in more control of the promotion, NXT my interest in NXT has definitely increased these last few weeks or so, and definitely interested in seeing Worlds Collide now. I might not have a chance to watch it live Sunday, but we'll watch it eventually. And we got Sunday night All Out 2 shows that day. Speaking of All Out, AEW last Wednesday night, Dynamite, TBS. We see CM Punk in the middle of the ring. But first, skipped ahead of myself a little bit. We see Jon Moxley in the ring with the contract for the AEW World Championship match at All Out, and he says anybody can come and sign it. He leaves it in the middle of the ring, but we see Ace Steel, good friend, and one of the trainers of CM Punk make his way to the ring, grab the contract, and then later on we see CM Punk in the ring cutting an emotional promo, and Ace Steel comes out, convinces him to sign the contract. So the original main event for All Out, the AEW World Championship on the line, CM Punk vs. Jon Moxley is back on this Sunday. And also, we find out that number 10, Preston Vance from the Dark Order, will not be competing in the semifinals match on Rampage tomorrow night. And then it was revealed that Evil Uno would be taking 10's place, along with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. But then we see Andrade and Jose, the assistant, in the locker room, and they attack Evil Uno. Andrade does anyway, and then Jose tases 10, and they're both out now. And then later on we see John Silver and Alex Reynolds in the back. Hangman Adam Page walks up to him and he says he will take Evil Uno's place and team with them in the semifinals against the Best Friends, Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy tomorrow on Rampage. Or, yeah, it's still before midnight, so tomorrow. And this one, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to it, but it's a little predictable here that you got Hangman taking the place, teaming with the Dark Order, and who would they be facing in the finals? Of course, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Of course, that's the one we're going to see, or most likely to see, I should say. Never say never in wrestling, but you never know. Or there's no guarantee, I should say. Wrong analogy there, but pretty sure gonna see the finals of the AEW Trios Championship Tournament. Gonna be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Hangman Adam Page. And tonight on Impact Wrestling, we get an emotional promo from the legendary Mickie James. And at first it kind of seemed like she's going to announce her retirement, but she didn't quite announce it just yet. She announced that she wants to once again become Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion. But if she loses one match on her way to getting a title shot, she's done. So she kind of like, not exactly, but back in 2008 when Vince McMahon kind of forced it on Ric Flair, he said the next match Ric Flair loses will be his last, and then of course had the match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24. And well, that's going to be interesting to see. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, in a few weeks they have the Impact Plus special, Victory Road, on Impact Plus and YouTube for the Ultimate Insiders, and Fight TV. And October 7th, a rare Friday night pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling, their biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory. And tonight, after Impact Wrestling, we had New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access TV, featuring Kazuchika Okada versus Jonah from this year's G1. And Juice Robinson as well, taking on, I'm blanking for some reason now who he faced, but Juice Robinson, I just watched it but didn't take notes. See, that's what happens when you don't take notes. And so we had that match on Access. Thank you for tuning into this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, and hope to be back. Not sure if I'm going to talk about SmackDown and Rampage tomorrow. Not sure. Maybe. Who knows? Never say never in pro wrestling. Used it right that time. And hopefully maybe sometime Saturday night, Sunday morning, either one. Hope to have a recap of Clash at the Castle, and then Sunday or Monday, hope to have a recap of All Out, and sometime NXT Worlds Collide. And hope everybody enjoys this big pro wrestling weekend for WWE and AEW. Remember, before I go, if you have any questions or suggestions, the email is 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can just leave them in the comment section on YouTube, here on Spreaker, the main website you should be listening to on, or you can listen to anywhere you can listen to podcasts. If the website you use has a comment section, go ahead and leave a comment, like, review, subscribe on all the podcast sites, on the YouTube, all that good stuff. Find the 360 Wrestling Podcasts, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you want to help out 360, make it even better, 360 Wrestling Podcast stronger, help us keep the lights on. And you can, don't have to, but if you can, doesn't have to be very much, any amount will do. Anchor.fm/360-wrestling-podcast360. Also, streamlabs.com/360 Wrestling Podcast. Again, you don't have to, but if you did, it would be very much appreciated. And I'll try to thank anybody on the podcast or live stream or whatever it's on I'm doing at the time. Hope to do a live stream again soon, but unfortunately I can't quite figure out Streamlabs. Sometimes I have a little bit of technical difficulties on Streamlabs. Hope to have some Streamlabs soon, or if not, just do YouTube videos. And speaking of YouTube, on the 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel, the unboxing we did about a week or two ago of the August 2022 Pro Wrestling Crate with my nephew Brody, Bruiser Brody as I call him. Thank you once again for tuning into tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Like I said, hope to have recaps of the big shows taking place this weekend. Hope everybody enjoys everything. Tomorrow's SmackDown and Rampage. And also, after Rampage, Countdown to All Out on TNT. Clash at the Castle. Worlds Collide and AEW All Out. Have a great pro wrestling weekend, everyone. And I want to steal something from Ring of Honor commentator Ian Riccaboni. Happy wrestling. Until the next episode, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.